How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the last episode of the Figuring It Out Finance podcast in 2024. My name is Chris Rickenbaugh, and I am here as always documenting my journey in real estate and business. And I'm also going to be talking a little bit about travel hacking and personal finance. Go follow me on all the socials, Instagram and TikTok, where I post daily about what I'm doing in my business and throughout the day. And then you can go check out figuringitoutfinance.com, where you'll find all the links to wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I post them on Podbean as well. So, going into, or I would probably say Happy New Year. This will be posted on the 31st, the last day of 2024. So super exciting going into the new year. And, I listened on a podcast earlier this year. This guy, he's like, I don't really wait for, the last week or the last month to plan my goals. I set them in when we're in November. That way I have 13 months to work on all my goals for the year. So, I did that this year. So we had it all planned out. We have them written out, and we're, crafting our vision and our mindset for this whole next year. And it's, me and my wife together, as well as some of my business. But before I jump into that, I want to talk a little bit about my 2024 goals and how that went. So, starting in the education space, my goal was to reread 10 books and then read 10 new books. So I think I'm going to end up finishing one more before the end of the year, but I only reread 4 books this year. And then, I ended up reading 22 new books. So that's a pretty good spread. So that's 24 books, and then lots of the same stuff, a lot of personal development books. I really want to tune into the mindset for next year. We had some relationship goals. I ended up, blowing those out of the water this year because I'm like, take a small trip together, try a new restaurant every month. And, we ended up getting married this year. So way, above and beyond those goals. And, the money goals and the business goals were completely different. So I had written here is for the blog and the business, which actually turned up into what I'm doing right now. It turned into a podcast where I'm like, I just want to buy a domain. I want to have 1,000 followers, post 2 blogs per month. So I definitely shifted from where I was because I hated writing blogs. It's like I would rather just hop on a mic like I'm doing right now and then write a 150-page book. Well, I haven't quite done much. So writing a book about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, it's easier to do that on the podcast. And then, later down the road when things start going really well for us, like we're planning in 2025, we're going to have a really kick-ass story to tell. So the real estate goals, it was finishing up my personal house and have the HELOC done by the end of April. We accomplished that. Have 5 rentals, buy another primary house, and then, from there on. So the real estate really, that was slow because I was working a job. I thought I was going to be there for a while and really be able to grow with that company. And that took a left turn really hard as I'm documenting this story. I quit and then started flipping houses. So we did 6 deals this year, which blows the 5 rentals away. Still waiting to cash out on those as we're still in the flipping process at this point. But, it's just funny to look back and think, man, where were we at that time and where was my mindset? And then the money goals, just trying to invest money, that took a really hard left turn as well as, I had no money coming in. So, this first quarter of 2025 is going to be really exciting with a little bit more money coming in and, just feeling so much better about where we're going to be at. So, working on the 2025 goals, I would say the personal ones is to, real estate and business. Let's talk about that one first. So The podcast is going to be more of just documenting that story. I'm going to update probably on this next episode in the first one of 2025 on that Friday, is going to be talking about what I'm going to be doing with the podcast, how I'm going to be using this platform to document what I'm doing, because as I'm going through Instagram, the numbers are going up. You know, the podcast is getting more views, the website's getting more views. So now it's just about being consistent and getting good content out there. So, it's been a really cool learning process. And again, we're only 7 months into my real estate journey. So I haven't been doing it for that long, 6 deals in 7 months. So super exciting. But as for the real estate and business, I talked about the 10X is easier than 2X book. The goal is 50 deals next year, you know, flip, wholesale, other, you know, we're going to be going after it in this next year. We have a potential new build, a couple new flips, 2 more under contract, you know, private money lenders interested in what I'm doing. So 50 deals, and looking to bring my wife onto the team and see what her role is going to be in the business, you know, for this time period. And, you know, eventually hire a cold caller and another assistant before the end of the year. So the goal is to net $500,000. So, you know, does that 50 deals equate to exactly $500,000? No, but it's a big goal out there, and it's going to blow anything out of the water that I've made before by a ton. And then I want to own 10 properties. So, you know, 10 out of the 50, that's 20%. You know, I'm going to be mainly focusing on flipping this whole year. I don't know if I'm looking to keep any, but because we're doing so many of these opportunities, we're going to have money coming in that are either going to be going out into new flips, new cold callers, and we're going to be able to have a lot more opportunities that we see. And, you know, we have the experience now to where we know what a good one looks like. So we can keep them if we want. We can burr them. We can leave a little bit of money into it. But it all starts with having that money coming in. So I would say keeping those properties is going to look closer to the end of the year. I want to make a lot of money in the first 3 quarters of 2025, to where in the, you know, at the end, we're either looking at keeping them because people are probably going to be falling off the horse a little bit on buying as it was this year. You know, it dried up a little bit in that November to December area, making a lot of people in this, you know, business nervous for the end of the year. But that's just the cycle. So my goal is, you know, how do I build up a ton of money in those first 2 to 3 quarters, to where then I can start putting, you know, 20% down on a property and just start focusing on that equity play, you know, buy something that might take a little bit longer to reno during those years, so we can list them for sale at the beginning of 2026. So this whole year is going to be a lot about building up that money, and wholesaling, I believe, is going to be a huge part of that. So where I'm going to be documenting all of this is going to be figuringitoutfinance.com. So I'm going to be documenting it basically through this podcast and then through Instagram and TikTok. I'm working on, if you've been paying attention to my social media, I've been doing something a little bit different. You know, I found a different platform to be able to post my videos. I changed up how I'm recording them a little bit, but you know, it's all equated to positive numbers, which is really exciting for me, because I didn't like that space in the beginning, but you know, now I see how essential it is, because I have people asking me about it just because they've seen me post about it, whether that's been on my personal Facebook, whether that's been on the website, whether that's been in, you know, Facebook groups. Just being able to get my name out there and tell about what I'm doing, because, you know, my biggest thing is about honesty in this business. And, you know, if somebody comes back to me that isn't honest, I'm not going to be working with them. So that was a little bit offhand comment, but, you know, I want to be straight up with people. Here are my goals. Here's what I'm doing. Here's how I'm going to do it. So those are my 2025 business goals and how I'm going to accomplish them by, starting wholesaling, having my wife come on and work with me. And then increasing the social media, probably just posts. I think I'm going to take away I might do like 3 normal Instagram posts, but I would say the reels are going to be still daily. I might just post when, a cool quote I like, kind of like I do now. And then, when the podcast drops, because I feel like I was just trying to put out content in 2024 and, see what stuck. So those pictures weren't really doing great. It was just like filler. And I'm like, I don't want to be doing filler. Like, I want something that people actually want to watch, good, better content. And so what I started seeing was when I started posting, when I took away 3 podcasts and went to 2, my views went up by a lot. And then when I started posting reels with the, without the TikTok, without the Instagram symbol on it, the views went up, doubled basically. So it'll be interesting to see how they go into 2025. And then, we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing the 12-week year. So it's just going to be consistent posting. I think I'm going to be doing 3 normal Instagram posts and then along with the reels every day. So, we'll be excited to see how that works out. But, those are my 2025 goals. Thank you for tuning in my first 7 months of this real estate business with this podcast. So cool being able to see those numbers go up and, looking to bring on guests if I meet that right person, maybe a co-host eventually. But that's about where we are for 2024. Super exciting. Got lots of momentum with another house getting posted or getting close to being on the market, or I believe it's going on the market this week, maybe next week. We'll see, because I'm doing this on December 21st, so we'll be able to hopefully we get one on the market that first week of January and then get that sucker under contract. So lots of momentum going into 2025, but everybody have a happy new year and keep tuning in to the Figuring It Out Finance podcast, where I'm documenting my journey. And this is Chris Rickenbaugh signing off for the last podcast of 2024. We will see you in the new year.